Alright guys, for this video I'm going to be going over just different years of my life and just how they were for me. I also plan on doing a video talking about the months of the year and maybe like holidays that I like and pros and cons of each season. Now, I made the holiday and season videos on my previous channel, which is now my live stream channel, but I've never gotten around to the month, my opinions on the months of the year, so I'll probably be doing that one before I remake the holiday and season ones. But for this video, like I said, I'm just going to be talking about different years of my life and how they were for me. Now, I'm not going to go over every year because, number one, I don't remember, the beginning, the first few years of my life, and, there were just some years, mostly, in my child days that I just didn't have enough going for me to really go over them, so I think I'm mostly just gonna be going over 2010 through 2022. I'm not gonna be going over 2023 because we just started it. But I will be talking about 2022 a little bit again, even though I just did a video. However, I'm not gonna be going over it in detail, month by month. I'm only going to be doing that for my, annual reviews, but I will be talking about some of the good and bad stuff that happened throughout the years and how the years were overall for me. So, yeah, 2010 was pretty good. I turned 12, yep, and I was a 6th grader and a 7th grader in 2010. Not really much to remember, but I don't know. It was just a fun time in my life. And then 2011 was oh my god, I missed 2011 like crazy. Especially the second half, it was a pretty fun time of my life. Especially the second half, the second half of 2011 and the first half of 2012 when I was 13. Oh my gosh, I miss that time of my life so much. Now, I don't remember if this was 2010 or 2011, but I believe I was in the 7th grade, which was my 2010-2011 school year. I was in the 7th grade, and I got into a new video game series known as Harvest Moon, and I freaking loved it. I freaking love it. But now it's now known as Story of Seasons, and there's a new series that's known as Harvest Moon. It's kind of a messed up thing, but yeah, that was another good part of one of those years, although I forgot. Oh, you know what? I think it was 2010 because I remember, I remember during the holiday break, I was playing Harvest Moon Magical Melody a lot, the holiday break of 2010 and 2011. So yeah, that was 2010 that I got into the games. And then for Christmas, I actually got Harvest Moon Animal Parade. So, yep, that was 2010. 2011 was pretty good too. I had, like, in fact, I miss it like crazy. I had a good spring break that year. I remember us going out to a restaurant, but I forgot what it was. And I started, 8th grade. I started 8th grade when I was in 2011, and I'm gonna be honest, I miss it so much. 8th grade was a fun-ass school year. Especially on Fridays when we would play Just Dance 3 in gym class. Oh my god, I miss it so much. I also remember, I believe this was 2011 because pep rallies don't usually continue throughout the second calendar year of the school year, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I believe this was in 2011. I actually won a dance contest at a pep rally, and it felt freaking amazing. So yep, that was another good time of 2011. I also had a good summer vacation on 2011. In fact, I think that's when I got my own Wii system. Yep, I turned 13. So that was pretty fun that was a pretty fun highlight of 2011. Two 2012 was pretty good as well, and I had a fucking amazing spring break in 2012. Words can't describe how much I miss freaking spring break of 2012. I think one of my brother's friends came over. He was mostly my brother's friend, but he was also a friend of me as well. We all had fun together. I think he came over the majority of the spring break. And I also remember having a lot of ice cream during the spring break. I remember my favorite flavor of ice cream now is cotton candy, but at the time I hadn't tried it yet, so my favorite was Neapolitan, and I got Neapolitan Dippin' Dots. And I also remember having another I think it was vanilla ice cream with vanilla topping. That was pretty good. I don't know. It was just a fun time. So that was pretty good. And I had another good birthday that year. That was another good time of 2012. And then I started high school that year, which was pretty fun. I honestly missed parts of high school. Now, don't get me wrong, there are parts of it that I'm glad I don't have to deal with anymore, but there are parts of it that I genuinely miss. The only shitty thing that happened in October of 2012 is my Wii broke. And that was the end of the GameCube era for me because back in June 2011 when I turned 13, which was June 9th, 2011, I got a Wii that was GameCube compatible. However, it like I said, it lasted me until October 2012, but luckily, I did end up getting a new Wii for Christmas of 2012, which I do appreciate because I was at least able to play, Wii games that I liked, but the shitty thing is it was not GameCube compatible, and So I did some more research online, and it turns out they stopped distributing them in November 2011. So yeah, that was the only shitty thing about 2012. Otherwise, it was a pretty good year, and I miss it. 2013 was interesting. I had a fun birthday. It was a nice summer vacation. Honestly, I missed that summer vacation. I think that was the summer vacation where I was playing a lot of fun Xbox games in the living room. The only off thing that I can think about that happened, like, it was like in June 2013, I believe, like, our air conditioner went out, and yeah. So we had to go stay in a motel for a little bit, but it wasn't really that bad, honestly, because we weren't there for too long, and that was before I lost interest. It was just kind of weird being in a different area, like, all crammed up in the room. But, oh my god. One thing that happened was there was this freaking smoke detector, and it kept chirping. And this was when my parents were out. Me and my brother, we stayed behind while our parents went to get food. I believe they got Whataburger, because I remember eating it and choking on it, and my dad had to help me get it out, and he almost did the Heimlich maneuver on me. So that was another crazy time of the motel. Me choking on my Whataburger and the freaking smoke detector that kept chirping. But other than that, it was a pretty fun time, and I missed it so much. We also went to Port Aransas, which, it was okay. Like, I have some good memories, but I had an upset stomach the whole time. That sucked. And it's also the year Animal Crossing New Leaf came out. That was fun. The dawn of New Leaf was a fun time for everyone. So yeah, that was a pretty good year with a pretty fun summer. Like I said, I had another good birthday that year. So yeah, nothing much else to say about 2013. As we get further into more recent years, I'll have more to talk about, but yeah. And then 2014 was interesting. Sorry, I'm thinking, but yeah. 2013 was the end of 2013 was bittersweet, because I have some good memories, but the only sour note was my great-grandma. I think it was the year my great-grandma passed away. Another thing I missed about the end of 2011 and the beginning of 2012 is we went and stayed with my paternal grandma at the time, because we were living in a different town. But now that we live in the same town as she does, like, it's normal. But back then, when we were living in a different town, it was more rare. But yeah, that's something else about 2011 and the end of 2011 and 2012 that I forgot to mention. But back to 2013 and 2014. 2013, like I said, the end of it was pretty good. The only sour note was my great-grandma passing away, but it was still nice to get together for a few days. The only shitty thing about it was because my dad was singling me out, claiming that I don't behave at restaurants. But other than that, it was a pretty good end of 2013. 2014, like I said, was interesting. It was my maternal grandpa's birthday, so we went over to Houston. I talked about this a little bit. When I was doing my other Houston videos back in August. When I was talking about the trip that I'll get into in a bit later on. But yep, at the beginning of 2014, we went to Houston to celebrate my grandpa's birthday. And it was a decent time. I have some good memories. The only thing that was driving me insane was we went to a restaurant for his birthday, and I forgot what it was called, but it wasn't a restaurant. I don't think it was a restaurant with anything I liked. I don't know, maybe they had spaghetti, because I think it was an Italian restaurant. I think they had spaghetti. But I don't know, I don't really remember it very much, so I wasn't sure about what they had and if it was authentic or not, so I didn't eat anything. But it was so boring waiting for us to get back to, the house. My grandparents' house, because we were they were just sitting around and bullshitting too, and it was driving me insane. I was bored out of my behind. But yeah, other than that, it was a decent time. I may forgive me, but I'm probably I may go back to some years because there are some things I left out. I believe this was the summer of 2012. My former neighbors that I had also came by for a sleepover. So that was also another fun highlight of 2012, if I remember correctly. But yeah, back to 2014. It was a pretty decent time. 2014, 2015, I believe I was a junior. Sorry, I'm just thinking, but yep. I also had a pretty good birthday. I got a Samsung tablet, and I had a pool party with the same friends mentioned about the sleepover. So they came over here and we had a pool party. I got a new tablet, and yep, like I said, I turned 16. So yep, it was after my sophomore year and before my junior year. My junior year was pretty interesting. I had a good Christmas that year. I got a new Harvest Moon game that I really liked, called Harvest Moon: The Lost Valley. It actually got a lot of hate, and I really enjoyed playing it, so I consider it to be pretty underrated. So yeah. 2015 was good for the most part, but I had kind of my summer vacation got pretty boring in the middle. Like, it was really fun at first, but it got boring in the middle because, I wasn't doing anything. I didn't have a cell phone at the time, so I couldn't stay in contact with my friends. And just my mom was just getting mad at me for little things. And I remember this one incident that happened. I believe I talked about this before with you guys. It was one evening. My brother was starting stuff with me for no reason, and so was my mom. Like, my mom and my brother were starting stuff with me for no reason. And then my dad yelled at me about it, and it just put me in a freaking shitty mood. Like, I was in a good mood as well, but my family had to come along and ruin it. Like, I hate it when stuff like that happens. People, your family are supposed to let you enjoy your good mood when you're in one, not fuck it up. But yeah, that was another shitty point about the summer of 2015. But, like I said, my summer got better, like, towards the end. Like, I remember getting a haircut not too long before I started my senior year, which was another highlight of 2015. I had a really good senior year. But yep, I remember that, getting a haircut before. Like, I think it was a couple of days before my senior year. And that was pretty interesting. So yeah, the end of 2015 was definitely fun. I had a fun Thanksgiving that year as well because thankfully, I think I wasn't forced to eat turkey. If I remember correctly, Thanksgiving of 2010 was like the last year I was forced to eat a turkey, and I said 2010, right? And then, like, Thanksgiving of 2011 was the first year I didn't have to. So, yeah, I believe I was, thankfully, if I remember correctly, I only ate ham, stuffing, and rolls. And I was also doing the Thanksgiving event on Animal Crossing New Leaf, which was pretty fun. So yeah, Thanksgiving was a pretty fun time. I forgot, although my memory on Christmas is a little hazy, but I think it was pretty good, although I can't really remember it. But yeah, that was 2015. 2016 was a mixed bag because, on June 23rd, 2016, I graduated, and it was bittersweet. Like I said, I have mixed feelings about being done with high school, so my graduation was definitely a bittersweet moment. We had to stay in hotels a lot, including during my graduation time. Ugh, that was shitty. But yeah, it was a mixed bag. Like, it wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad. it had some it had some good parts and it had some bad parts. Of course, the highlight was graduation. Like, that's definitely the number one highlight of 2016. That, no doubt about that. But yeah, the fall of 2016, I remember being pretty good. I remember finding some surprise snacks in the pantry towards the fall, so that was pretty good. Thanksgiving was another good, I believe, but yeah, like, I remember the fall of 2016. It was an interesting time. I had a good Christmas that year. And it was when I started to get into the Cars franchise finally, towards the end of 2016. So that was pretty nice. And like I said, I believe it was another fun Thanksgiving that I had. So there's that. So yeah, 2016, like I said, was a mixed bag. The spring break of 2016 started off really good. The Monday was a good day for me, but we had to stay in a hotel the majority of the time. Fuck that. Because of weather issues. So it kind of made the spring break of that year go to shit. But yep. So yeah, like I said, 2016 was a mixed bag. 2017 was honestly a really good year. I'd say 2017 and one other year that I will be getting into are my favorite post-high school years so far. But yeah, 2017 was, oh my god, I miss it so much. It started off as kind of shitty because I was worried about something. I was worrying about something for a while back in January. It seems silly, but there was this stain on my foot that I couldn't get off. It took me forever to get off, and that was worrying me, so I had anxiety about that for the vast majority of January. But other than that, it was just a really good year. January overall is usually just a bland month anyway, so yeah, and I'll be talking more about that when I do my month video. But yeah, other than January, it was a good year. Like, I remember February was pretty decent. Other than my mom calling me out on some shit, it was still a pretty good month, It's the month of, like, love and Valentine's Day, which I love Valentine's Day. And then the day after that, on the 15th, a friend of mine came over, Christine. So that was pretty fun. And I also got invited to some stuff. Like, I remember getting invited to a birthday party, which was I think it was a birthday party. It was for Christine's birthday. I got invited to a baby shower for my friend Megan, and I also got invited to a wedding in June, a friend of mine's wedding. So that was pretty awesome. I got to go to 3 events I was invited to. And the summer, oh my god, I missed the summer of 2017 so badly. My mom had to babysit someone, and her and I actually ended up becoming, well, I actually met her when she was a baby, but since she was just a baby, we didn't really get to properly meet until 2017. So that was nice. I made a new friend, and she ended up coming over just for, not because my mom had to babysit, but also for me, because we had a lot of fun together in 2017 and also 2018. So yeah, I missed the summer of 2017. I got into Disney's planes that year. I ate a lot of fast food with Dayanara that year. It was just a good time with good memories. The end of 2017 was interesting. I made a lot of fun YouTube videos during the second half of 2017. I had a good Christmas that year. I got some good perfume. So, yup, that was another pretty good year of my life. 2018. I mean, 2018 had some good parts because I had a good birthday that year, even though I got homesick, because we went over to my grandparents because it was my 20th birthday on June 9th and my dad's 50th birthday on June 11th. So I was living in Orange Grove at the time, and we went over to my grandmother's house, which we now live in that town. I'm not going to say what it is. But yeah, I got homesick, but other than that, it was a pretty decent time. I swam in the pool. We had a cookout. And yeah, I could be wrong, but I think my friend Dayanara came over not too long after that, because I remember like we were hanging out in the living room. I mean, not the living room. My mom's bedroom, and I think her and my dad were doing work. So I believe we just kind of hung out in the back bedroom while watching TV shows and movies. But yeah. We also went to Marble, but yeah. And I'm having a hard time remembering all this clearly. We also went to Marble Falls in 2016, 2017, and 2018. 2017 was the time I really enjoyed, but 2016 and 2018 were mad because 2016 was the first time we went there. So it was still like a new thing to me that I was getting used to, because I have adjustment issues sometimes. And then 2017 was just too long because we were there for an entire week and I got homesick. But there were still some good memories. The only shitty thing about, I think it was the 2018 one, is I was trying to use one of the normal bathrooms because I didn't want to use the one in the RV, and then my mom got really pissed off at me and made me cry. All because my dad was sleeping, but it was in like the freaking afternoon, like come the fuck on. But yeah. And then, of course, we lost Steven Hillenburg that year. So, yeah. I have some good memories of 2018, but other than that, there was just a lot of family and internet drama. Same with 2019. I have some good memories, but like I said, a lot of drama happened. And we also moved out of my old town and into my uncle's. My now late uncle's house during 2019, which was interesting. It took some getting used to, but we eventually got used to it. But yeah, that was a bittersweet moment of 2019, saying goodbye to the town I lived in from March 2006 to June 2019. You know, I lived in Orange Grove for 13 years, most of my life, so it was bittersweet saying goodbye to that. But I do have some good memories, especially towards the end when we were getting used to living with our uncle, my uncle temporarily. And then 2020. Oh my fucking god. Do I really need to say it? This is objectively one of the worst years we've been through, and I don't think I need to say why. I'll admit, it was pretty good in the beginning, I will say that, and even towards the end, when when it was like fall, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. But other than that, it was just a shit show. Not only the pandemic, but there was a lot of other world drama that happened. The George Floyd incident, which, don't get me wrong, racism is horrible, but people started to, paint all cops in a bad light. They would, people would, just be against all cops, even the good ones, and then they would, say ACAB all the time. Ugh. That year was just a disaster. I mean, it was nice finally moving out of my uncle's and moving into our own house, but other than that, it was a shit show, like I said. Not only that, but my dad and my grandma were taking their stress out on me because for a while they were getting things situated for us to move out of our uncle's and move into our new house. And I remember a few times they were taking their stress out on me. Plus, it was kind of challenging at first, just getting used to everything, because we still had to do that. Plus, we still had to buy the anonymities. I don't know if I said that correctly. The things that we needed, TVs and all that good stuff. So sorry. But yeah, I'll admit, one highlight of 2020 was going to the SpongeBob musical. That was a pretty good time. That was January I believe it was January 17th or January 27th. It was one of those times. That was a pretty good time. Oh yeah, and Animal Crossing New Horizons came out that year. You know, it was fun playing through that game for the first time. Especially once summer came around. And I do have a lot of good memories of eating Wendy's while playing. So I'll admit, there were some good things about 2020, but unfortunately the cons outweighed the pros on this one. But yeah, for what it's worth, I had a... One thing I forgot to mention about 2017 is this is when I met my really good friend Purple Ethan. That was a really good thing that happened that year. And then in 2018, I met Ashton. That was another good thing that happened. That was a good thing that happened that year. So at least that's another good thing. Even though that year was kind of blah. But it had some good things. And then in 2020, I did meet Green Ethan that year. You know, I met him a little bit before Thanksgiving. So that's good at least. You know, I have a bunch of amazing memories with him from late 2022, the very beginning of 2022, before the shit show happened. That, you know, I'll talk a little bit about it when I get into 2022. But yeah, those were some pretty... But yeah. And Ethan said that if it wasn't for this pandemic, he probably wouldn't have met me, the other Ethan, you know, Purple Ethan and Ash. So, I don't want to say that I'm glad the pandemic happened, but I'm glad that something good came out of it. And that's meeting Green Ethan. So that's probably one of my favorite things about 2020. That and the SpongeBob musical. And Christmas, because I did have a really good Christmas that year at least. I got a new tablet because my Samsung one broke. It stopped, the charger stopped working. I believe it was in 2015. So yeah, I finally got a new tablet in 2020, and that's when I got the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So yeah, I'll admit there were some really good things that happened in 2020, but other than that, and I do remember, like, I did some live streams that Green Ethan came to, so that was fun. And then 2021, I honestly missed 2021 like crazy. Like, looking back, I honestly feel like I took it for granted. Like, that's how much I, like, miss it now. Like, when I was, like, going through it, like, it just seemed like an average year to me. But looking back, I miss it like crazy. Like, I honestly do. The only shitty things about it, like, was in, like, you know, I dealt with some toxic people in January and October, and then my dad and my brother were really rude to me for my sensory issues back in September. But other than that, it was a fucking fun ass year. But yeah, like, for some reason, I'm like, September, and like I said, September and October had shitty moments too, but like there's just some like there was just something about January 2017 and January 2021 that just made me feel anxious. I don't know. I guess it was just the timing. I guess it's the fact that that month is just a really drab month for the most part. I don't know, but yeah. But other than that, it was a really fun month. Like, I went to Lubbock with my dad. I have a bunch of good memories doing live streams and going to Green Ethan's live streams. I started a Miitopia Let's Play. I actually got into Miitopia in June 2021. That's when I first started playing, and then July 2021 was when I really started to get into it. And it's still a game I love to play to this day. That's definitely something that really made 2021 great. And Green Ethan made a gift for me back in November of that year. I actually re-uploaded it on my channel and did a commentary of it, so that was really nice of him. It was just a freaking fun-ass year. 2017 and 2021 were probably my favorite post-high school years of my life so far. But yeah, and then like I had a really good December 2021. November was like amazing as well. And yeah, it was just a fun year that I feel like I took for granted. Like when I was doing a when I was doing a review on it back when 2022 just started. So it was over a year ago now. Like, I didn't say it was bad by any means. I just kind of... I was just kind of like, it was okay. It was good for the most part, but But now looking back, I really... I want it back, like, seriously. Minus the toxicity I dealt with in January. And October, and the family drama in September and April, because I had a bad dentist appointment in April, but other than those incidents, like, it was just a really good year. That, like I said, I feel like I took for granted. Like, I started realizing it, that I think I started realizing that I took that year for granted back in 2020. Back in, like, September of 2022, I believe. That's when I really realized how much I missed it. We also ate a lot of Huddle House during the end of 2021, which it has like the best breakfast. Like at home and like also with my dad. I remember eating it with him back in November and another time in December. So yep, it was also a fun time, not only with my internet friends, but also like for personal reasons. Yeah, I'll stop raving. 2022, like I said, it had some good things. It was just a bit underwhelming. Like, at least in comparison to 2021, it was. It was mostly due to an incident that, the drama with Green Ethan's family that happened. If it hadn't have been for that, it would have, I think it would have been a better year. But I am grateful that we can at least stay in touch on Wattpad. But I do miss the times where we would just chat on Discord, like late into the night, do Let's Plays, do live streams. I mean, I can still do Let's Plays and live streams, but and he can still watch them. It's just more complicated now, which he actually did come to my when I did my New Year's Eve live stream when we were saying goodbye to 2022 and saying hello to 2023. He did come to that, which I was fucking grateful for. And he does watch my Miitopia Let's Plays, but I miss the days where I would premiere them, and I miss the days he would do, like, his Miitopia Let's Play and, like, the Papa Louie live streams. I cannot wait to have those days back. I'm hoping once he turns 18, his family will give him a little more freedom. I can understand that, it's gonna take time. Green Ethan, if you're watching this, I understand it. It's gonna take time for you to figure yourself out and move out, but I'm hoping your family can at least let you have YouTube again and Discord. That would be awesome. Because you're going to be 18. You're going to be an adult. From what you told me, Family Link only has control until you turn 18. So hopefully you can have your freedom back. Well, not 100%, but at least a little bit of it, because you won't have to deal with Family Link. You'll hopefully have some time to yourself. Naturally, your family will still need you for stuff, but at least you will be an adult. So I'm hoping that you'll have some of your freedom back when you turn 18 in a few years. But yeah, like I said, I understand. You moving out is going to have to wait a while because you need to figure yourself out. But I'm hoping your family can give you more freedom. Well, it can at least give you more freedom once you turn 18. So yeah. My favorite part about 2022 was probably March. It was just a fun month, both online and with like my family. We ate out a few times, like I told you, we went and ate at Olive Garden, we went and ate at Huddle House a few times. It was just a fun time that I really miss. I also had a good birthday that year. October was pretty good too, because I think that's when me and Green Ethan got back to doing our story trades for each other. And November and December are also always pretty good, although I have to admit, they weren't they were good, don't get me wrong, but not as good as 2021. Not only that, but I was having a lot on my mind due to rigmarole going on with my mom, so yeah. But they were still pretty good times. They always are, at least somewhat good. So yeah. 2011 was decent. 2011 and 2012 were pretty amazing. 2013, 2014, 2015, they were also pretty good. know if I'm gonna rate all of them, but yeah. You know, like I said, 2016 was a mixed, bittersweet bag for me. 2017 was amazing. 2018 and 2019 were kind of meh and blah due to certain drama. I remember when 2018 was ending. We were wondering what 2019 had in store, and Lord, we were right. It was hectic, all right. And then, of course, 2020 was shitty. 2021 was a pretty great year looking back at it. 2021. I don't know if I said 2021. But yeah, 2020 was shitty. 2021 was a great year looking back at it. And 2022 was good. Just underwhelming. Not much was going on for me. But yeah, that's all I have to say right for this video. I just kind of wanted to talk about some of the years throughout my life and how they were for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Bye!